Gabon, another nation in Africa. Let's see how those people are actually doing, and let's start with yeah, not that many 360s or street views, so clearly you're gonna have a bad sign of civilization just right there, but let's see how things are going on the ground level. I think this guy is ping here, I'm not sure, judging by his position. We pretty much start this country strong. Yeah, this is probably the average house looking here. Not so bad, it kind of reminds me about, I don't know, 19th century south of United States, I would say, in the Confederate States. Kind of give me that vibe in when you see the movies. Yeah, here when you turn around, maybe America in 17th century, something like that. But yeah, it looks pretty bad. And look at this. Even they have this is their own house. I assume they are their own houses. Not sure exactly what's happening there, but it looks like it's nobody house. I'm not sure, but doesn't matter. Uh, Assuming that those are livable houses, they live there. They clearly have their life there. They eat, sleep, whatever they're doing there. You cannot keep the yard looking like this. It is garbage pretty much everywhere. A truck wheel here. Okay, these banana trees have better days, but that's a different discussion. It looks bad when you just don't keep your yard clean. Doesn't matter how poor you are. This right here should never happen. So yeah, I don't think they have electricity. At least I don't see it. But judging that they are living pretty much in the middle of nowhere, I highly doubt that they have any, let's say, modern amenities. Probably they hid their homes with wood that they find in a forest. Small countries, they have an opening to the ocean, so that's good, but not sure exactly how much that is gonna matter for them. Landscape wise, looking pretty nice, I have to say. Looking, yeah, pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but they have those trees just laying around in the river. Looks kind of bad, but again, it's a third world country, so you're gonna see things like that. This guy cars probably break down. Judging by the state of the road, yeah, not that much, let's say, road taxes here. Judging by these tire marks, I would say very heavy vehicle crossing here this section. I'm not sure exactly it's from there, but probably something around that. It looks like probably, yeah, from here. The main industries here is just cutting trees and sell it for, I don't know, the highest bidder, but I would say that probably they sell it cheap here. So yeah, it's a good business probably for everyone there. What else we have here? This European guy, so whatever American guy it is, just smoking here. Nice outfit, I would say. I'm not sure exactly what you're doing with these shoes in a forest like this. I mean, that'd not be my first choice when you go in a third world countries in a forest and you just pretty much wearing shoes like this. And I'm not sure if they have socks on it. It's just pretty much sandals, whatever this one it is. You can get pretty much bit by snakes or whatever wildlife they have here. Not a good choice in my opinion, and yeah, it is what it is. They have some cameras here. Probably they take some photos or whatever they're doing here. I'm not sure. This is not just a regular bag. I'm not sure exactly. Something from the, I don't know, NGO or something like that. But it looks nice. I mean, look at this. It has some sort of a waterfall. Probably in the wet season, it's much bigger than we have it here. This is from July 2016, so almost 10 years ago, but it's still looking pretty good in quality. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. I don't see garbage here, so which is good. So probably not that many people going here. They have some sort of a basket here. I'm not sure if it's garbage or maybe it's just, I don't know, they take them here. Who knows? But it looks pretty good. It looks like a trash bin here. I'm not sure. This is look like a bench. It could be a national park, who knows? But it looks good. I like it. That one actually looks much better. We're gonna go in that city at some point, but just I wanna check other things here around. Let's see how those people, like I say, actually live on the ground level. Here, well, the same story. Not that much things happening. They have some sort of a writing here. I'm not sure exactly what they say. Some TNT, that I understand. The other one, BFB, or I think it's BFB, BFT, no, who knows? We saw some village here, but it doesn't look that great, let's face it. And if we zoom out, it's probably this one right here. It looks like a, I don't know, concentration camp or something like that. Not a good vibe, of course, but again, it is what it is. They have one of those small communities everywhere, which that's not so bad, but keep in mind this is a third world country, so things are not going that well in those small communities. So like I say, not that much modern, let's say, amenities, not that much reliable electricity when they have it. Probably not, I'm sure about the medical, let's say, assistance they have there, and also not that much clean water, probably. Yeah, so not that great. Ooh, we find something here. Look at it. It's an airstrip, okay, with the road, the dirt road, pretty much. And here we have another one of those camps here. Kind of weird to have a, now I want to say an airport, like I say, just an airstrip here for such a small, and they have some agricultural thing going on here, as you can see. But it feels a bit weird for such a small community to have that, the airstrip. But who knows, maybe they produce something very valuable there and that's why they have it. And have a 360 here, I'm not sure if they check that, but oh yeah, it's the one that with motorcycle. Yeah, not so sure about what's happening there, but at least they have something modern, let's say. An airstrip, it's pretty much the modern thing you can find in those communities, most likely. I mean, the landscape, like I say, is pretty nice wherever you go here. You're gonna look at the population in a second, but it looks pretty nice from the, no, no, from, look at this. The geography, it's nice. A lot of green. Not sure exactly how much that is gonna last, but at least they have it from now. Small communities everywhere, dirt roads everywhere. Probably in this one they have electric power. I'm not sure. I assuming this one they have some sort of a, what is this? It's a road or a railroad. I'm not sure, to be honest. Probably the railroad. I'm not sure. But I have no idea. I have no idea what is this. It's so, some section are so bad. Could be a road. Not sure. But okay, doesn't matter. Small communities have here, which slice I like to see it. But those small communities, like I say, is gonna be a future for the Western world. Those third world countries has to go to those nonsense main city, everybody shoved together there and living in a miserable condition, like pretty much any European cities with a population more than 1 million people, I would say. But yeah, they have to go to that step in order to get civilized, let's say. Now here they have some pretty heavy equipment, as you can see. They have a nice Toyota Hilux here, which is pretty much brand new back in 2021. So yeah, they have some interesting choice of the car so far. Here it looks like they preparing to make a road. I'm not sure, but it looks like that. Not sure exactly where this road is gonna go, but we don't have that much, let's say, street view 360 and even satellite images that good of the quality to see where they might go. Here it's in the middle of nowhere, but you can see how nice and thick the forest it is, which is pretty good. Not sure exactly, like I said, what kind of wildlife they have here, but if they have one of those poisonous snakes here, I'm not gonna walk here with in a sandals like that guy, that's for sure. What else can we find here? We have small communities. I mean, small communities, probably by their standard, it's pretty standard, not big size, but medium size, something like that. But it's a small one. Here, the same one in the forest. Let's check them from above. Yeah, not that much. You can see quality in those satellite images, but at least we have something. They have paved roads here, okay, and cars on the road. Okay, that much more advanced, and we have even a 360 here. Let's check this one. Okay, this is January 2022, and it doesn't look that bad, but I see some garbage here, which I don't like it. The road, it's pretty good. We have power lines here. We have some banana trees here. I like this guy yard, looking pretty nice. House, pretty good also. They have some pretty nice spots. I would say. Unfortunately, we cannot see more than that because we don't have those street views. We can actually check them in more detail. But at least we see a bit of how those people actually live, and it seems to do uh, some of them, at least when we can see the images, pretty good. Let's go in that city. Let's see how things are going on there. Now, as we can see in a 3D, those street satellite images, it's pretty shoved together and also pretty spread out in the same time. So probably I would say if then is there like a metropolitan area or it's like multiple town cities coming together and it makes the looks or it feels like one big city. Not sure exactly what's happening here. It's some sort of a office from someone. Satellite images. What reveals that a lot of people just pretty much living jamming together here, but they seems to have like paved streets in some areas. The main one, the secondary streets, not so much. They have a river nearby. They have the ocean. They have one of those big airports. I would say at this point, this is actually a big airport here, looking pretty good. We have, let's see here on the beach, it's probably the when the rich people live. Wow, that's pretty nice. I mean, the weather is not that great when I make those 360s, but beach looking nice and clean, nice vegetation, nice wide beach also, I have to say. At least in this part, it seems that they collect the garbage here, which is pretty good. That's why they keep so clean. The beach is wide enough so you don't actually see someone that we see probably in the eastern Black Sea on the Russian, I remember correctly, on the Russian side, that guy with the pretty much put the house in the in the sea. It was like a few meters is the sea, like that's insane. But again, the way it is. Yeah, probably this is a rich area. As you can see, those guys have nice houses and pools. So yeah, close to the airport. I mean, you might say, that close to the airport, you have to have some noise, but probably they don't have that much traffic, so it's not actually a huge problem. But it seems to be like those definitely are hotels. This one actually could be residential home. It could be something for rent. That probably was a palm tree at some point, but it looks nice. I like it. And clearly the coastline, I'm not sure it's actually reserved for rich, but it definitely looks like, oh, we have a more, probably this is from renting. That's why they make those 360s. Yeah, that's a nice one. I mean, like I said, doesn't matter where you go, you're always gonna find some rich people, rich areas looking pretty good. What is going on here? We going in the street? Yeah, that's nice. From the outside, you might not say is that great, but the inside tells you a different story, I would say. Okay, not that rich by those standards, but again, also definitely can get worse. Okay, that fridge see better days. That okay, it doesn't have an opening to the sea, I think, but it seems like from above at least looks like the rich area. Houses inside, not so much. I would say that one in particular, but it could be better. Let's see other 360s. Ooh. Yeah, here it's a different story. Wow, what the fuck is going on here? And you can see that's a German brand right there making sleepers. Pretty good. Now the houses here is pretty much, let's call it at the best unfinished, at the worst looks like they have a war there. Yeah, not so great. From above in these edges of the city, oh, somebody wants to build a mansion here. Look how big it is, and they didn't finish it. At least a little bit, a bit more spread out, more green. I would say I like it. Good bones, let's say, but anything else, just no. No, thank you. I mean, when you go to live in those areas, you have to look at more than just the land. How is the crime rate, the school district, and all that that you need, especially if you want to raise a family. If you want to make some purchase, how easy is to go there, and also transportation, infrastructure, all that. Some rich people is here also. We see some house with the pools. This guy has two, I think, or maybe a bridge between them. Who knows? Not so bad actually. Look, they have a stadium, the main one, and this is when they practice probably. I'm not sure if it's finish, but maybe it is finish. But yeah, the stadium doesn't look that great here. In the inside, what else can we see? Okay, let's check this one. We have some street views here. Okay, that's good. This is from May 2025, so very recently. Nice motorcycles right here. The road looks pretty good. A bit too wide for my taste, but again, not so bad. Bus station. Okay, bus station. We have some posters here, but it doesn't look so bad. Definitely I see worse. This one looks pretty decent. Let's call it like that. This looks like one of those, I don't know, business district, something like that. They have a lot of storage houses. And I'm not sure exactly how many buses they have there, but people seems to go on the foot here, as you can see. You know what? Not so bad. I'm curious how the how well economic they doing here. I mean, they walking on the street. That's not bad, you know. Have to walk if you want to get fat. Better to walk. Not so bad actually in this part, but it seems like they have some houses here. It seems like one of those districts that they made it for business only. This one, we have some bars on the windows here. Not a good sign, but we don't have a fence. Okay, that's also interesting. This guy is, I don't know, maybe fixing something here. Well, not exactly great. That's an expensive car, by the way. Those are probably for water. I'm not sure, or maybe gas. Seems to have some sort of a pump here. I'm not sure, or I don't know. Maybe a pipe. Ooh. Definitely we seem worst. That's for sure. But this one also doesn't look that great. So I would not want to live in a place like this. That's for sure. But definitely we seen worse on this channel. That's again an expensive car. This is May 2025, again very recently. Yeah, I don't like when people they just dry their clothes in front of the yard and just everybody in display to see it. Yeah, not great. This one, a lot of garbage here, again not that great. Is pretty bad. This guy sits here on the chair and look how the garden looks like, pretty fucked up. And yeah, he should get up and clean his yard. Here is the end of the street. Clearly some lands for construction. Somebody started something here, didn't finish it. They have electricity, judging by this box, so probably the cables are buried. They have street illumination. Not so bad, you know what? Definitely I seem worst. This one not so bad. Wow, this is actually pretty good. So it's better. Look how bad it is. See, bad. Somebody with no fence, pretty nice and decent. Someone with the fence, pretty fucked up. Just the way it is, I guess. I don't see bars on the windows here or on the door, which is pretty good. That's a mosquito net, I think. Maybe there are houses built for the workers. It could be. It looks like a gated community, something like that. The Gabon version of gated community could look like that. But yeah, wide streets. Doesn't seem to be anyone home. The roads here in this area are looking pretty well done. At least from the quality of the pavement so far. They have some apartment buildings here, which I do not like it. I don't care how small they are. It just looks always horrible. Maybe it's not an apartment building. Maybe it's some sort of a factory, but I'm not sure yet. So, could be a factory actually, not an apartment building. Could be some offices. Who knows? Clearly a district made for a business, definitely. Okay, let's move here. Let's see what else we can find here. You know what? Not so bad so far. This is somebody's house. Inside the house, I have to say, I never saw, to be honest, I never saw a fridge with a locker right in the middle. Clearly a factory, I'm sure it's an option or a factory standard here, but I never saw a fridge then you can actually lock it. Never saw it in Europe, never saw it in movies. But here in Gabon, it seems to be pretty much standard, I would say. Who knows? Maybe this one it's an option, but it could be a standard also. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, the idea. You know, you don't want to have anyone looking in the fridge or stealing their food. You just lock it and take the key. It's definitely something very basic. I like the window. I like that they have these blind shutters here. Not so bad. Not so bad, I have to say. That's a premium European. Not a lot of European houses you're gonna see with that, but here they have it. The doors inside, yeah, pretty bad. The storage here, not so well. They have AC. Okay. Well, this is a very expensive, who knows, house by their standards. Yeah, the bathroom, whatever this is, not so great. They seems to live down a bit lower than the street level, which is not a great place to be if it rains a lot, but it is what it is. The AC is right here. This guy trying to open the blind shutters, so clearly they don't work that well. On a different level, it's kind of those multi-store houses with probably more people living in the same house. They are not related. They have water here. They have pipes, as you can see it. On the street, not so bad, but not so great either. So yeah, again, one of those places which is close to the ocean. But I would still not. I would not want to live in places like this. It just doesn't look that great to me. Here the same story. It's a church, most likely. Yeah, that's Jesus right there, and that's a cross. And just looking at the harbor, okay, pretty good position. Prime real estate here, probably. And that's Gabon, actually. Not so bad, but again, I would not want to live here, so I'm not gonna sit here and say how great it is or how much potential they could have. It's just not something that I would like to live. Okay, let's look at the numbers. Now, population, 2.6 million people. So, okay, not that many. Judging by how this city looks, probably main population living in there, and the other one is just spreading around the country, which is kind of sad when you have such a big country and jamming everybody in one city. When you have like 2 million population, 2.6 million and rising, you need to have at least 2 big cities to just have a competition at least between the cities. This is how you make life better, I would say. When you have everybody in one city, it's not gonna end well. When you have at least 2 cities that compete each other, which one have better condition for living, usually things get better, at least in theory at least. 1955, 500,000 people living here with 0.6% increase in population. That'll be roughly around 3,000 people. Okay, migration 0, highly doubt that. Median age around 27 years old. Fertility rate 4. And the urban population back then 14%. And look at this, fast forward to 2025, population grew tremendously. Now they're around 2.6 million people and rising at 2.1% increase rate. Ooh, huge numbers. Comparing with 1955, and weird also comparing with the European ones. It's exactly the opposite in the trend here. So yeah, yearly change now it's around 54,000 people per year. Migrants 1,000. Okay, so we can see they have migration on plus from pretty much the entire known history, at least the documented one. Could be better condition than the neighbors, who knows. Median age now got lower, it's 21 years old. Fertility rate a bit lower, but not by much, 3.5. And urban population around 83%. That's a huge transition from the rural area to the urban area. Now, look at this. By 2050, population is going to reach around 4 million people, which is insane. It's almost 10 times more than 1955 than 100 years ago when they're going to reach 2050. Yearly change 1.6% increase rate. That would roughly translate in 63,000 people. Still, the biggest record, as you can see here, is 64. Probably by now, we're going to see, especially when you go under 1%, they're going to go see that yearly change dropping. Migration still on plus 3,000. Median age 25 years old. So now they get older. Fertility rate 2.6, much more manageable. Pretty interesting. And urban population, watch this. 2025, 83%. 2050, 81%. That's kind of a weird trend, but it's happening. The urban population is going down. Maybe, who knows, they realize that living in a city is not the best way to live your life, and they're going on the opposite direction, like I said, especially from the Western countries that are gonna go at some point. Maybe in Africa, it start even earlier than that. I highly doubt that, but it seems to be like a small trend, let's say, going back in a rural area, in a countryside. Life expectancy very good here. 60 years old for both sexes. Females around 71 years old live, and the male 66, which is not so bad. Again, I keep saying the best age for a male it's like 60, but it is what it is. Infant mortality rate 25.9, at death under age of 5 35.3. Those are huge numbers, as you can see, but they going down a lot, and I do mean a lot, as you can see. So clearly things are improving there. That's good. Well, the pyramids, watch this. Base is very solid, but you can see they kind of curve in at some point, and then they go again a solid base. Probably gonna see shrinking by 2050, starting to shrink, not a huge one, but it's gonna be interesting to see. A huge male surplus in population from the birth to the age of 44, around that, then a small female surplus, and then they go back in a male, and eventually they're gonna end up, like I say, females usually have a higher life expectancy. So in the last years of life, it's normal for pretty much any country to see a female surplus in population. Economy, let's see. This doesn't look so bad, but let's see the numbers. By 2025, 20 billion US dollars. Not so bad, but still very low. PPP around 57 billion US dollars, and look at this growing rate. 2.4, 3.1, 2.8, 2.6. Pretty small numbers. Those are numbers for big economies. For small economies, they should go much faster, but again, it's what it is. GDP per capita 8,840 US dollars, or 24,000, almost 25,000 PPP, which is not so bad. That's why probably gonna see a lot of, and we saw that migration going in the country. But again, how they live, especially outside the city, not so great. But inside the city, we didn't see that many images, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what's happening there. But again, not a place that, especially from the Western population, wants to live, or at least acknowledge that they have a pretty good life there. It's decent, let's call it like that. Comparing with what they have the neighboring country in Africa, it's very good. What else can you have here? Agriculture 4.5%, industry 62%. Okay, probably when I say industry, we see that, I don't know exactly how they call it in English, when you cut trees. Hemp industry, I'm not sure exactly the word, but they cut trees and they sell it. I'm not sure if they cut the trees, make send them to a factory, make some, I don't know, furniture, for example, and then sell the final product, or they just sell and export the raw material. I'm not sure. If they just export the raw material, not that many money, not that much money, let's say, they can make, and also not employing that many people. If you do it with the furniture, much better, better way to do it, I would say. Services 33%. This is, by the way, it's a 2010 estimate, so quite a long time ago. 2024, 2.1% inflation, not so bad. We have unemployment by 2023. 20% unemployed. That's huge numbers. Look at how much workforce you leave on the table and you don't use it right. So yeah, if you make somehow some programs to put, let's say not all of them, because you're always going to have some unemployment, but if you keep unemployment under 5%, you're gonna see some better life quality for everyone, I would say. Okay, corruption. Gabon. Oh god, not so well. Let's see it. But again, it's from Africa, is the way it is. Let's go in Gabon. Gabon, 27 points and rising 1 point. Okay, but still perceived as more corrupt country. Okay, what else can we see here? They speak French, so a French colony. Okay, so don't do exactly that bad for a French colony. And 80% they are Christian and 10% Islam. Okay, so predominantly they are Christians. Well, there's not much we can say about them. You can see here the unemployment rate. It's definitely the worriest thing there, and that should get tackled first. Education, infrastructure, all the good stuff. But right now, judging how those people live, I can understand why they have migration on plus there. So people choose to come in the country from the neighboring country. Seems to do a bit better than, let's face it, Congo, for example. So yeah, they're doing pretty decent for an African country. For the European standards or the Western standards, yeah, it's a long way out. But we will see. Like I said, 2050, in my opinion, is gonna be a very interesting year for the demographic of the planet, for how things are going. We're probably gonna see by 2050, I would say, who's gonna be the winners and losers by the end of the century, which is gonna be a very interesting thing, because it's gonna plan pretty much where you want to live and in which countries and companies you want to invest also. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, that was the Gabon, the country in Central Africa on the west coast, opening to the ocean. What can you say in the end? If you live in Gabon and you see these videos, this video, I would like to comment on them to tell us how things are really up there. But so far it seems to be decent for the African standards, I would say. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put this one. So yeah, check the other videos and see you next time.